Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's weather forecast, I will be covering an early spring preview with unseasonably mild temperatures through the week, which will lead to two huge storms with heavy rain, snow, and severe weather, and we'll also be tracking the potential for a cross-country winter storm through next week with heavy snow and storms as well. But if you guys are with me here on the video, don't forget to press the subscribe button down below to get all of my daily weather forecast updates each and every morning at 9 a.m. on this channel. I cover all of North America, including Canada, the United States, and the tropics and everything in between. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below and you get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. And guys, we are only 34 days away until official spring equinox here in North America. So definitely a good milestone here. We got a few weeks left, and looking through the week, we do have that spring preview already setting up shop across the eastern 2/3 of the country. Looking out here across portions of the deep south, we'll be into the 60s and 70s this afternoon, but farther north toward the Great Lakes, we'll also be in the 40s and 50s out here with those unseasonably mild temperatures this afternoon. That will continue into the Wednesday time frame with even more 60-degree temperatures and 70s rising farther north into Kentucky, into Ohio, southern Indiana, portions of West Virginia into your Wednesday. And then that will continue to move eastward on Thursday here, and then a strong cold front here will sweep these warmer temperatures off the East Coast by the time we get into Friday. But also, guys, don't forget to press the like button down below here in the video. It's the thumbs up button. It helps to get all of this weather information out to more and more people, so I definitely would appreciate if you would hit that button down below the video. But looking at our next storm system here, or next couple of storm systems moving through this week, our first one is moving out across the Central Plains this morning. You can definitely see on the water vapor imagery, we got a lot of precipitation starting to break out here across the middle of the country. But back to the northwest, across Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, and western portions of Montana, that is the second storm. That's going to be moving southeast over the next couple of days before ejecting across the middle of the country as well by the time we get into that Wednesday, Thursday time frame. So looking at our first system around noon time frame today, it's all rain here from the Twin Cities down through central Iowa here near the Des Moines region, back towards Omaha here, and then all the way south towards the Gulf Coast. Not really expecting too much in the way of heavy rain, just a steady shield of light to moderate rain through the noon time frame. There will be some snow back to the west here with the limited cold air that we do have, and that will continue to move its way off to the north and east across the upper Midwest here by the 6 o'clock time frame as we're getting ready for dinner this evening. We will have to watch this cold front in what we call a triple point here, where we have a warm front, a cold front, and the low pressure system come together with this low level spin up across portions of western Iowa here. We do have to concern ourselves near the Kansas City region here into eastern Kansas, northwestern portions of Missouri for a marginal risk of tornadoes later on here today, even a lower end threat for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So we definitely have to watch out for that later on today, probably toward the evening hours as that triple point becomes a little bit more apparent in those areas. And then this system will begin to move northeast bound towards the upper Great Lakes as we head into Wednesday morning around 6 a.m. A lot more colder air will start to spill in up here into Minnesota and portions of Ontario. So we'll have another band of snow set up shop up there with a couple inches of snow as we go through Wednesday morning. Looking at our liquid precipitation, this is your total rainfall accumulation from now through Wednesday the 15th. Definitely a nice soaking rain across the upper Midwest near the Twin Cities areas. We could be seeing over an inch of rain up here, and then farther south towards the Missouri Valley and portions of the Arklatex, we can be looking at about a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain through the middle of the week. Looking at the snowfall side of this, it will be limited to mainly the higher elevations out west, but we could have a couple of inches up here into the Dakotas and northwestern portions of Minnesota through midweek. But again, over a foot of snow in those ski resorts efforts out west across the Rockies here will be some beneficial news for those areas. But if you are traveling out west, though, you also have to worry about the travel impacts with this winter storm as well. We are talking about those minor to moderate travel inconveniences out west across the Dakotas, and then farther west from there towards Montana, Wyoming, and then farther south as well across the Four Corners region, and then another area up here across coastal Oregon, Washington State, and northwestern California. We do have to watch out for some travel impacts through midweek. But as we get towards the middle of the week on Wednesday the 15th, that first system will move up across southeastern Canada. We'll say goodbye to that. And then a much stronger trough will start to dig in across the Four Corners regions Wednesday morning before ejecting and opening up across the middle of the country on Thursday, February 16th. This one will be a little bit more potent, so we'll have to watch out for severe weather on Wednesday. A slight risk for severe weather here posted by the Storm Prediction Center, a level 2 of 5 on Wednesday here from the Memphis area, Jackson, Tennessee, all the way west-southwestward here towards portions of Little Rock, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and even the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex as we head through the day on Wednesday. And those hazards look like this. We have the 2 to 5% shading of tornadoes here from the mid-south all the way back toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in the southern plains. We also have the threat for damaging winds over 60 miles per hour in that very same zone, and some large hail as well, especially from Memphis back through Little Rock, Shreveport, Texarkana, and then especially back into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex across the Red River into southeastern Oklahoma. We have a significant hatched area of large hail with the initial storms. We could have significant hail over 2 inches in diameter with some supercells out there Wednesday evening. So looking at the setup on Wednesday, dew points ahead of this very strong dry line and cold front will be there. We'll see dew points in the low to mid 60s here, providing plenty of juice and instability for these storms. And another part to this is the kinematics. We'll have some pretty impressive winds moving in out of the southwest with the southwesterlies in the jet stream here in the mid levels around 70 to even 80 knots. So definitely a very strong mid-level jet promoting the damaging wind risk. And the low-level jet will have to watch the turning of the low levels in the atmosphere with direction with height. We definitely have to watch out for some tornadoes going across the Arklatex and the Mid-South through the day on Wednesday, especially Wednesday evening into the overnight hours. So looking at this around the noon time frame, mainly just warm air advection down here across coastal Texas, getting in towards southern Louisiana and the deep south. The snow will be up across the Front Range. In between, we're just seeing a lull in the action through midday on Wednesday. That will continue into early evening around 6 o'clock. We're still not really seeing much in the way of action here across the Arklatex regions or the Mid-South. But as we get through portions of 10, 11 o'clock, and then toward midnight there going into Thursday morning, we'll start to see scattered supercells develop here from the Memphis area back through Little Rock, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex along that cold front here, and we'll start to get some of these storms going with damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes, and then that will carry eastward towards the Ohio Valley here and the Tennessee Valley as we head towards the 6 o'clock in the morning time frame on Thursday morning. But by the time we get to Thursday, that severe weather risk pushes east with that cold front and the storm system. The Storm Prediction Center has hoisted a slight risk, a level 2 of 5 on the scale here, across portions of the Ohio Valley here from the Cleveland area, even northwestern portions of Pennsylvania into western New York, all the way south and westward through southern Indiana, Ohio, getting through portions of Kentucky here, much of middle and eastern Tennessee, getting through Mississippi, eastern Louisiana, and portions there of Alabama going into Thursday. And that will be all modes of severe weather. Again, a similar setup. This warm sector will be moving rapidly farther north with dew points in the 50s and 60s here, and a fairly potent mid-level jet actually strengthening through the day on Thursday, and a robust low-level jet as well, promoting that change in wind direction with height here, especially in the low levels and the mid-levels as we go through the day on Thursday, especially up here across the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee Valley. So going through noon time frame on Thursday, you got the cold front here with the colder air and the snowstorm on the backside. You have the cold front here with the scattered supercells from the Ohio Valley, parts of the Northeast, all the way southward towards the Gulf Coast. We'll have to watch out for isolated tornadoes, damaging winds over 60 miles per hour, and large hail up to around quarter size through that noon time frame on Thursday. That will continue through Thursday evening before we start to exit the system off the East Coast and into southeastern Canada by the time we get into the midday hours on Friday, February 17th. But putting all of the rainfall together with these two systems from now through the end of the week on Friday the 17th, a lot of rainfall can be expected, not only for the Midwest with the soaking rain up here with a lot of areas over an inch of rain, but a lot of areas here from the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, southwestward through the Tennessee Valley and the Gulf Coast states here will be seeing their fair share of 1 to 3 inches plus of rainfall. Some of these areas could overachieve as we go towards the middle and late portion of this week. But the cold side of the system is there, especially on Thursday here. You have a very strong temperature gradient here, and usually when you see that happen, you have a frontogenesis type of snow band set up, and we do see that here as we head through the mid-evening hours on Wednesday here tomorrow evening, down across the Central Plains initially, across western central Kansas, getting into southeastern Nebraska and western Iowa. That will be spreading up across northern Missouri, eastern Iowa here up toward the Davenport Quad Cities, Rockford, Illinois, getting up there toward Prairie du Chien, Madison, Wisconsin, then over there towards Milwaukee. Mainly a wintry mix here for the Chicago metro area down towards I-80 in Illinois around 6 a.m. on Thursday. All rain to the southeast. And then that will lift up across most of Michigan and portions of Ontario, Canada through the evening hours on Thursday. Mainly a wintry mix for the Detroit area, but places like Lansing, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, you will see some light to moderate snow through Thursday evening. And it will be adding up out here. The European forecast model is suggesting a swath of about 3 to 6 inches of snow. The GFS a little bit more bullish on the totals, over 6 inches across some of these areas. My official early estimates here for snowfall from Wednesday the 15th through Friday the 17th are these light blue shaded colors around 1 to 3 inches, and then a 3 to 6 inch snow event here from portions of northern Missouri, east central Iowa through northern Illinois, southern and southeastern Wisconsin, and then right through portions of central Michigan into southern portions of Ontario. That is my official forecast, at least my early snowfall estimates with this system. I will be fine tuning this into tomorrow. But as we get beyond there through the weekend into early next week, that southeast ridge is going to remain intact across the eastern side of the country. Another trough will be digging in out west, and we'll do this pattern all over again as we get into next week. We'll reload the atmosphere here with another powerful jet stream setting up shop towards the middle portion of next week on Wednesday the 22nd time frame, and that does promise us a lot of above normal precipitation, not only across the heartland here of the country, but back across the Pacific Northwest and the desert Southwest as well. So much of the lower 48 will be active into next week, at least through February 23rd. And again, it's all due to this elongated trough across the Pacific Northwest, southern Canada here, and the northern United States, all the way across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast through the middle and late portion of next week. So starting here on Tuesday the 21st, we have a piece of energy moving in from southwestern Canada into the Pacific Northwest, more energy with the subtropical jet moving in out of the desert Southwest into the Central Plains, and these will meet up together starting on Wednesday with a cross-country winter storm starting to develop out west here across the northern plains and portions of the Rockies, and then that will transfer its energy farther east by the time we get into late week next week on Thursday, February 23rd, with a pretty decent snowstorm up here across portions of the Twin Cities, maybe getting in towards Des Moines, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, toward the Chicagoland area will be very close. We could have an ice storm very close by there as well, and then that could extend farther east there toward Detroit. All rain and severe weather farther south on Thursday, and you can definitely see, again, a very tight temperature gradient here where we're going to go from all snow and cold temperatures north to a mixture of precipitation or an ice storm in between with the battle zone of the temperatures, and then farther south, heavy rain and severe weather with these 60s and 70s down here across the south, and even 80 degrees down here potentially next Thursday, the 23rd, in central South Florida. So definitely a very interesting weather pattern next week, and it does look like the potential storm track during the 21st through the 24th time frame does look to provide us with heavy snow across the north and rain and storms, again with severe weather and flooding rains across the south and southeast going through through the middle and late portion of next week. So to recap my weather forecast for you guys, an early spring preview with unseasonably mild temperatures through this week, 2 huge storms with heavy rain, snow, and severe weather as well going through this week across the country, and then a cross-country winter storm is possible next week with heavy snow on the north side, an ice storm in between, and then storms with severe weather and heavy rainfall across the deep south yet again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. If you guys liked the video, press the thumbs up down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. A great rest of your week, and I will see you all in the next video.